There are easily hundreds of investment platforms in Nigeria right now, which makes choosing where to invest a little confusing. These are the 4 platforms I have personally tested and therefore I can recommend. Each one slightly different and suited for different kinds of users. So there is something for every type of investor on this list. And by the end, I will share which platform I personally use and why. Now, before I recommend any platform, here is what I look for. First, they must be registered with the Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) or partner with a licensed broker. They have to be super user-friendly, and if it feels like I need a degree in finance to use it, I am not recommending it. And then they must have a mobile app. I am a sucker for apps, and I love the convenience and ease of access. And lastly, they must have a good reputation, no scandals and no sketchy history. So every platform in this lineup ticks all 4 boxes. Trove was founded in 2018 and partners with Sigma Securities for Nigerian stocks and Drive Wealth for US stocks. What makes Trove interesting is how it lets you invest based on themes. They have this feature of themes. So if you're passionate about green energy, women-led companies, or real estate, for instance, Trove has curated bundles that make stock picking less overwhelming. But keep in mind that picking stocks based on emotions and stuff you like is generally not advised. But it's nice that they have this feature that allows you to invest in an industry in one fell swoop, because more than just passion, you might genuinely believe that an industry is going to do well or is the future. So you can just go in and invest in a lot of stocks in that particular sector. Now, some features of Trove is that you can invest in both Nigerian and foreign stocks. And they offer savings investments where you can lock up funds and earn high interest. They also offer virtual cards for global payments. And then Trove has a social feature built in where you can follow and learn from top investors, which I think is a nice touch. Bamboo launched in 2019, and like Trove, they let you invest in both Nigerian and international stocks. Their brokerage partners are Lambeth Capital and Drive Wealth for US stocks. Bamboo is one of my favorite Nigerian investment platforms right now. And on Bamboo, you can invest in both Nigerian and foreign stocks. You also have access to managed portfolios, fixed returns, treasury bills, and high interest savings. And like Trove, they offer virtual cards, but that's through a separate app called Misan by Bamboo. And then instead of a full-fledged in-app social network, Bamboo runs an active WhatsApp channel with over 123,000 followers where they drop investment updates and insights. Next, we have Invest Niger by Chapel Hill Denham. Now, this one is more Nigeria focused. So if you're only interested in local stocks, this might be the perfect one for you. Invest Niger was launched in 2014, and the reason I highly recommend Invest Niger, even though I like investment platforms that allow for both Nigerian and US stock investment, is that when MTN had their primary offer, I bought my first MTN shares, and Chapel Hill's Invest Niger was the broker MTN used to deliver the shares. And that level of endorsement from a company like MTN just made me trust them and highly recommend them. And for features, like earlier mentioned, Invest Niger mostly covers Nigerian stocks. They also offer mutual funds, bonds, and dollar income fund. They also have a compound interest savings plan where you can earn interest on your principal as well as interest on your interest, which is powerful. And if you like to learn while you invest, Invest Niger has tons of educational content like articles, podcasts, videos, and courses, all built into the app. At number 4, we have Afrinvest, and Afrinvest has been around since 1995, and that kind of track record just gives you peace of mind. They operate 2 different platforms. There is the Afrinvestor 2.0 for Nigerian stocks, treasury bills, and commercial papers, and then they have Optimus for US stocks, mutual funds, and savings plans. The major upside of Afrinvest is that they are an OG in the game. However, the separate platforms are a major drawback if you prefer a single app for everything. But if you don't mind juggling the 2 apps, you get access to a full range of investment options from one of the most experienced firms in Nigeria. Some of the features of Afrinvest is that you can invest in both Nigerian and US stocks, but on 2 separate apps. You also have access to various savings investment plans, such as their OptiFlex, OptiLock and OptiTarget plans on the Optimus app. You can also invest in mutual funds and US stocks on the Optimus app, while you can invest in Nigerian stocks, treasury bills, and commercial papers on the Afrinvest 2.0 app. If you like content like this, I'll really appreciate if you like the video and subscribe. It really helps out the channel and encourages us to keep going. And also let me know in the comments which of these platforms you prefer and would want me to do a dedicated deep dive, and I will prioritize making a video on the most mentioned platform. Moving on, the next two platforms are not mainly for direct investments in Nigerian US stocks, at least not at the moment, but they are fintech companies that partner with licensed firms to offer mostly savings and mutual funds investment options. They are perfect for low risk investors who care more about steady returns than trading stocks and buying shares and all that stuff. Cowrywise was founded in 2017, and Cowrywise is perfect for beginners. It's focused on helping you save and invest without necessarily having that in-depth knowledge of the investment world. And I think savings-oriented investment offers steady, predictable, and low-risk investment opportunities, making them the perfect fit for beginners who just need to, grow their money at a steady rate. And Cowrywise offer exactly that. And some of the features is that you can create high interest savings plans and emergency funds. You can invest in Naira and dollar mutual funds. And the app is clean, easy to use, and makes saving and investing super simple. Also founded in 2017, PiggyVest partners with big names like ARM, ICO, and Stanbic to manage investments. And much like Cowrywise, PiggyVest is mostly a savings-based investment platform rather than a full-fledged stock investment app. And PiggyVest is actually a registered fund manager with the Securities and Exchange Commission. Some of the features of PiggyVest is that they offer different types of savings plans, both Naira and dollar, and you can also invest in mutual funds. Now, I know that this list comprises of very familiar names in the investment space as far as Nigeria goes. And while it was tempting for me to sweeten up my list by recommending lesser known platforms just so that the content feels fresh, it is important to remember that these platforms are popular for a reason. And since we're talking about money here, you really don't want to be too experimental with what platforms you pick and you invest in. So my advice is always pick one or two reliable platforms that suit your skill level, your investment style, and your risk tolerance. And then when it comes to which one to choose, you really cannot go wrong with any of the recommended options on this list. But your choice will depend on, again, your skill level, your risk tolerance, and your use case. For instance, if you plan to invest long-term and want a more robust platform that covers pretty much every kind of investment you would want now and in the future, then Trove and Bamboo will be your best bet. But my personal favorite and the one I currently use the most right now is Bamboo. And I like Bamboo for the simplicity while still being comprehensive, covering almost all forms of investment. And so some of these platforms tend to be overwhelming with too much going on, but Bamboo just feels right. And then if you're only ever interested in Nigerian stocks, I think Invest Niger by Chapel Hill Denham will be my top recommendation. But if you want peace of mind and you want to invest in a platform with a long track record, Afrinvest will be your best bet. Plus, they have pretty much every type of investment you would like if you don't mind juggling the two separate apps. And if you don't care for shares and stocks, you're a low risk investor and you just want a 10 to 20% return on your principal, then savings investment platforms like PiggyVest and Cowrywise are excellent options for you. It's one thing to know what apps to use, but it's a completely different thing to know what investment strategies to use and what stocks to buy. In the next video, I will share exactly how I invest, what I invest in, and why.